Kirk, and welcome to another episode of the AusMoto Show, where we celebrate Australia's motorcycle racing kings and queens as they achieve greatness. Get comfy because we have a massive show planned for you. Coming up, HRC Honda Factory MX1 racer Dean Ferris from the Penrite Pro MX Championship presented by AMX Superstores hits the studio. Championship leader Mad Mike Jones joins us from the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul. I sit down with KTM's Pro MX MX1 rider and 2015 National Motocross champ Kirk Gibbs. And Pro MX's fastest female joins me on the desk, a young woman with international aspirations. It's Yamaha Racing's Charlie Cannon. Remember to follow along using the handle and hashtag AusMoto Show. You do not want to miss this one. It's going to be a goodie.
It's a Honda by the looks of things. It's straight out
Looks
front.
like Ferris, I think, yeah, it is. That's Webster, and the outside looks like Kyle Webster slotted into, I believe, third place. But another good start for Dean Ferris. Another hole shot. And Ferris up the inside. Ferris, Dean Ferris, and Luke Cloud slotting back there.
Fantastic ride though by Dean Ferris out in front.
They're closing up. First, second, third. It's starting to close up. That is for sure.
Well, Ferris's lap time the last time around was quickest on track, so he knows how to play out a moto himself. He's done a lot of them. Very experienced international rider as well.
The Honda rider up front, 111. Dean Ferris, after we said 8th place in the qualifying, it was just an average lap. He's going to be ready to go, and he is proving it right now.
Confidence knowing that he can run again up the front, and we all know he can. He's multi-time champion. He's not a slouch at all, and he can run up there. So is this what's going to make the difference? Gibbs, did you see that in the background?
I did. It's exciting times, and what a moment for the Honda camp here. You know, that we've got new team manager Glenn Griffiths.
New challenger to the front of this field. Very happy indeed as we see him wheel stand.
Please welcome three-time champion HRC Honda Factory Racing's Dean Ferris. Dean, welcome.
Thanks for having me on.
Now, we just saw a bit of a season to date. We kind of come off the back of round 5 Pro MX. Tell us how the season's been so far.
Wow, it's definitely been interesting, up and down. I would say I started off really slow in the championship. I was only 13th at round 1, so really it was a big disaster for me. I would say I come in underprepared. I had some injuries, so pretty much come off the couch and had to accept the settings that I had in my bike when I went to round 1, literally off the couch to round 1. I was healthy enough to ride, but not healthy enough to compete. So back on the podium and won a moto at round 2. So it was nice. It was nice to get back there, and look, since then I've had some more podiums and a round win and some more challenges throughout the year as well.
So you're sitting P4 in the championship right now, but Aaron Tanti is riding unbelievably well. Can you catch him? I mean, anything can happen in MX1, as we've seen Luke Clout go down, also Kyle Webster. So there's still a lot more time in this championship. How do you catch Aaron Tanti?
I'm a lot of points down, but like you said, anything can happen. So I just need to focus on me, and I need to start ticking off some moto wins. And that's the bottom line.
Now let's wind it back to small fry Ferris. How did racing start for you?
Well, it started just because I was a farm kid. Had a lot of space to ride bikes, and we had cattle, and the best way to get around the farm and chase the cows or whatever it was ride bikes. And you know, I had some cousins that raced as well, so naturally we just made a motocross track, you know, on one of the hills, and from there, yeah, I heard about this concept called racing and motocross, and I was 10 years old, and you know, we had the opportunity to go. We started there, and I started with an enduro, and that just led into motocross. So basically it just started all because I was riding around the farm.
Then the journey to getting overseas to race in the FIM World Championship for motocross and to the US. How did that happen? Tell us about your time over there.
So yeah, just as I progressed through pro here in Australia, like put the pro ranks, the goal was to see how good I could be, and the goal was to be a world champion. So that took me over to Europe. So when I got the smallest opportunity, I took it, and I made sure I went there. And then I spent 4 years chasing the World Championships in Europe. So it was an incredible time in my life, that's for sure. I would say it was awesome.
Now, the MX of Nations, it's not many people get to go and represent their country. You've been able to do it 6 times. What is that experience like and that whole event?
Oh, honestly, riding the Motocross Nations is just such an honour because, firstly, you're one of the 3 best guys that the country has to offer, and then you get to go and race every other country and just see how you fare. So to get chosen to do that is awesome, and you pull on your sports colours, the green and gold for Australia, and then you got teammates, which is awesome, and then you go into battle.
So locally you won 3 championships, and that led to the biggest accident of your life, the biggest injury of your life. It then led to retirement. Can you talk us through that, how that all unfolded?
I broke my back quite bad at the end of 2020, and I had a massive concussion, a head knock at the same time, and I was broken in half like a pretzel. And honestly, I had 2 little girls and a family, and was struggling to survive through the pandemic, honestly. And then when you wake up in the paddock and don't know where you are, and the medics are looking after you, and you feel like, you just think, why am I doing this? So at that moment, when you're thinking, you know your little girls are there watching, it's very, very hard. And at the time, I was like, my career's over. And thankfully, I got through surgery and everything. And then it was all about rehab, and I wasn't too worried about motocross at all. Didn't want to look at my bike. And honestly, I didn't ride for a year and didn't think I'd ever want to. But then I got on the bike and I started riding, and I was suffering with a little bit of, residual pain for over a year. And I started riding, and the next morning I woke up after my first ride, I had no pain in my back. And I was like, this is really strange. Like, is this a sign? And then I started doing a bit more practice and started feeling the flow, and realised I still know how to ride bikes, and I still loved it. And I didn't want to finish the way it did. And I feel like I got the opportunity to come back and do it, and I get to rewrite the ending.
And why did you decide to come back with Honda?
Honestly, to come back with Honda, all the stars just lined up. Yuri from Honda called me, everything worked. I liked what they had. I'd heard a lot of good things about the bike. They had really good equipment, infrastructure, team, everything was there ready to go. So with a few short conversations, and I know Yuri from the past, and I know a lot of personnel on the team, it was an easy decision, pretty much. Hung up the phone, told my wife, this is what I'm doing, called Yuri back, said send through a contract and we'll get it done now, and let's move forward.
Pro MX Round 6 Coffs Harbour is coming up next. How do we approach it?
Well, I'm not going to change too much. We're in a good place with the bike and the team and everything like that. I'm just going to do my work and just have to show up there as the best version of myself. So just a few little things, just trying to get all my ducks in a line. There's so many things and so many factors that make you a good rider. If I can get them all in line, just little adjustments here and there, and show up as the best version of Dean Ferris, and then I pretty much have to deliver and win is the only option from here on out.
Well, it's retro round, so you're going to need to start growing your mullet now. Is that okay?
Don't know if I've got a mullet in me, but I could probably
I
could do a handlebar.
Okay,
no
excellent.
problem. Some sideys, maybe lamb chops.
We will take those 100%. Fantastic. Thank you for chatting, Dean. We'll see you at round 6. Do not go anywhere, because we've got Kirk Gibbs, Mike Jones and Charlie Cannon coming up. Don't move a muscle.
So the best start for Starring, and the West Aussies grabbing gears. Fight for the lead. Still nothing separating these two.
Maxwell's going through, slipstream, but look at Jones.
Maxwell back to 4th. Allerton, that wraps up your top 5. It's heating up out there, Phil.
It certainly is, and the man that's on a charge, as we predicted on the grid.
Win. And Yamaha return to the top. Mike Jones, first win in the Northern Territory. How about the fight? Yeah, nicely done, Phil. Great 5 down there in Park for Maine. The Yamaha boys are ecstatic with that one. And they're having such a good season in 2022.
From the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul, he's still drying off from the champagne. It's two-time ASBK champ Mad Mike Jones. Mike Jones, tell us about the domination of round 4, the Darwin domination, because your performance was unbelievable.
We had a fantastic weekend there. Yeah, it was unreal. Really great to get 2 wins and a second place and take the overall round. I think that more than anything, it was just the Yamaha racing team were flawless all weekend, and they gave me a fantastic motorcycle to be able to achieve those results. So still super excited, still on a high from the weekend, and I just couldn't be happier.
Now, it was a huge chunk of points that you collected. You're now 40 points in front of Wayne Maxwell. Do you ever wake up in a hot sweat thinking about your 3rd ASBK championship and Yamaha's first in a decade?
No, I don't wake up in a hot sweat, but I'm very, very determined and focused to achieve that. I think it would be not only a great result for myself, but definitely for the Yamaha racing team, because like you said, it has been a long time since they've had that, and I know the guys in the team are very dedicated to trying to achieve that result, so I'd love to be able to get that for them this year.
So as I mentioned, you are a 2-time ASBK champ. Of those 2 championships, what sticks out to you? What do you remember about them?
Well, they're both very difficult championships to win, but the highlight for me was the championship that I won in 2019. It went right down to the wire. It was a nail-biter last race. It was between myself and Troy Herfoss. And it was a matter of whoever won the last race was going to win the championship, and it went right down to the final lap, and it was just a hard-fought battle and a very deserving win, so probably the most memorable for me.
And tell us about your racing overseas, because you went over and did the European Superstock 1000, and it was quite an experience for you.
Absolutely. In 2017, I was very fortunate to be able to get a chance to go and race for the factory Ducati team in that European Superstock 1000 Championship, and that was an opportunity that was brought on by Troy Bayliss, having raced for his team here in Australia. He helped me get that ride over there, and to race in a championship like that was alongside the World Superbikes. I mean, travelling around Europe and racing. Just an experience that I'll never forget, not just from the racing side of things, but also travelling as well.
And your results were good.
I had some great results throughout the year. My best result was 2nd position in Germany, and I finished the championship 5th overall.
Troy Bayliss has been quite pivotal in your career, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. So I first started riding with him and his team in 2016, and have been with him for a number of years. And yeah, I mean, he was able to help organise the rides overseas, but not only that, was a few wild cards in the MotoGP World Championship and also the World Superbike Championship. So that's something that not everybody gets to do, and I'm very fortunate to be able to be given those chances to go and race at that top level of our sport.
Yeah, not many people get the call up to go for a wild card. You got 3 of them. What's it like to get that call?
Yeah, look, the first time it happened, I was actually testing with our team here in Australia at Phillip Island, and it was the middle of the night, and Troy was trying to get a hold of me by phone, but I sleep with my mobile on silent, so they had to contact the hotel manager, and they came and got me in the middle of the night, and straight back to Brisbane to get my passport, and on a plane to head over to Motegi in Japan for the wildcard ride.
Whoa, so Troy's just on the phone. Mate, wake up, I need you on a flight, quick.
That's exactly how it went. I was thought I was in the middle of a dream when it happened, but yeah, it was a fantastic experience, and I couldn't be happier.
The R1 that you're on, tell us a little bit about the bike, and you do seem like you're really gelling with it now.
Yeah, look, it's I mean, I think it's a credit more so to the Yamaha racing team that they've got a motorcycle that's very well prepared, a bike that's capable of winning races. For sure, it's a bike that I've jumped on and like you said, gelled well with. So the combination is working really well. But But yeah, ultimately the bike has always been capable of winning, and I feel like you know, I'm quite comfortable on the bike, and I'm finding ways to sort of exploit its strengths, and that's certainly proving to get us success on the track.
Yeah, it's definitely an internationally renowned bike with many championships that it's won, so the potential is massive. Morgan Park is next. Tell us about your first experience at Morgan Park. How long have you been racing there, because it's your home track?
Yeah, I've been racing there for a very long time. I think my first time racing there, I was about 13 years old, back in 2007. As a junior kid on a 150cc motorcycle. So I've progressed through all the different categories and raced out there over a number of years, and it's a track that I enjoy racing at, and I've had a lot of success there. So I'm excited to go there, not only because of the experience that I got there, but also because it's a great atmosphere, because a lot of the home, you know, having the home crowd there is, you just can't beat race in front of the home crowd. It's fantastic.
Well, I think your competitors should be running scared, because I'm looking forward to seeing the Mad Mike Morgan Park Masterclass. Are you going to serve it up or what?
Absolutely. I'm sure they should be running too.
Or riding scared, however you want to call it. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mike, and we cannot wait to see you racing at Morgan Park, your hometown, with hopefully some fans and family there.
I look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Make sure you catch Mad Mike Jones and all the ASBK action the first weekend of August at Morgan Park. And right now we're switching to Pro MX, and I got the opportunity to sit down with KTM's Kirk Gibbs. It's been a crazy couple of years for this elder statesman in the paddock, but he's back at home at the team that he won his 2015 Australian National Motocross Championship with, KTM, Kirk Gibbs. Kirk, you look pretty good in orange.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, so tell me about that 2015 championship, because there's some really fond memories that you have with KTM.
Definitely. I was with KTM for 6 years, and yeah, the first 3 years are probably my most fondest, with Rod T being team manager, and you know, I really felt like I gelled with that bike in the first 3 years, and obviously it showed. And yeah, just had 2015 was just such an amazing year for me, and yeah, just something I'll never forget.
And your time of recent, it has been like a bit of a roller coaster in terms of moving teams and manufacturers for the last 3 years. Just tell us how that inconsistency has affected you, and what it's like to have that much change.
Yeah, it is very tough. Obviously, going from a European manufacturer to a Japanese manufacturer is, you know, it is tough. It's a completely different bike, but all the bikes are getting really good these days, so it's just fine-tuning it to the way you want it and the way you ride. So that's probably the biggest thing that I struggled with, is trying to get them to suit my riding style 100%. So coming back to the KTM I feel like I'm getting back to that, and yeah, it's just not an overnight thing. It just takes some time, which some people understand and some people don't. But we're here with a smile on our face and keep moving forward.
Well, you know how to win with this team, but tell us about how the start of the season's gone.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a struggle, no lie. I broke my foot 7 weeks before round one, so that put us behind with not only bike setup, but a little bit of fitness. So I feel like I'm getting back to that now, and the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks, I feel like I've been back on my program, not just on bike, but off bike as well, which puts a lot more stability in my program and you know, in the mind as well. So yeah, hopefully we're on the right track and come out and swing it this weekend.
And what are the hopes for this year? What do you think you're capable of for 2022 Pro MX?
Yeah, with the talent in this field has been crazy. You know, obviously everyone's pushing the limit. With Luke and Kyle going out is such a bummer for those guys, but it opens up the doors for us, and you know, I believe I can win. It's just whether I can put it all together. It's everyone. It's whoever brings the complete package and puts every race together and stays the most consistent. So hopefully I'm one of the oldest guys, and hopefully I can start bringing that from now.
Well, Kirk, we can't wait to see what you can do out there. Thank you so much for chatting, and good luck.
No, thank you very much, and yeah, hopefully I can start turning it on for you guys.
Do not go anywhere, because we've got Charlie Cannon coming up. Don't move a muscle.
Who will jump out first? Gates go down and they launch out. The Yamaha on the inside is very quick.
Well, already we've seen a swap of the lead there with Charlie Cannon coming out, showing everyone a clean set of heels.
Truly an exceptional rider on this bike, and do look forward to seeing what she can deliver.
She just, like I said, all she cares about is trying to latch on and see if she can keep up with Charlie just for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just noticing as well, there's still not a speck of dirt on her. Not on her front guard, not on her gear. What a day to go out of this. The mechanic doesn't even turn the bike.
Our next guest is a multiple state and national junior women's MX champion, and now she is the top performing female in the Penrite Pro MX Championship. It's Yamalube Yamaha Racing's Charlie Cannon. Charlie, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Now, we've just wrapped round 5 of the Pro MX Maitland. It was the first time you'd ridden in the MX2 class, a fierce class. Tell us how it went and the reasons why you'd stepped up from MX3.
Yeah, so it was really for the experience that weekend. Stepped up to MX2, basically just focusing on what would be better for future MXG races. And with the longer motos the MX2 does, my team thought it would be better to jump in there for a learning experience. And yeah, I got a lot of it out of that weekend. So yeah.
So how did riding start for you?
Yeah, so when I was 4, my brother got a bike and I hopped on it, and Dad could not get me off it. So then he had to get me a bike, and then we just started off riding like family rides in the bush, like trail riding. And then, funny story, I took off, wanted to be in front. So I went, my dad was back with my younger brother, and I got lost. So I put my bike down, I don't know why, and then walked back to try and find Dad. And this was in long grass. So I completely lost my bike. When Dad found me, we were looking for hours trying to find my bike in the long grass. And then I think from there, that's when Dad was like, that's it, let's go to a motocross track so he could see if I fall off. And then, yeah, I just loved it so much. And then that's how motocross started.
Now, you, as we mentioned, you are 17, you could be out with your mates socialising. How have you found becoming a professional athlete this year with the intensity and the rigorous training program that you're now taking part in? Because it's pretty full on.
Yeah, I think that kind of separates me with my other school friends. I am focused on one thing, one job, and I want to race the women's GP over in Europe. So that's all I focus on doing. That's what I live for. So I got my eyes focused on that. And I'm not really too fussed going out, you know, partying or all that stuff. I rather, you know, train and focus towards my goal.
And we've had 2 rounds of the Easy Lift MXW class. You're usually lining up with all the boys, but is it nice to line up with a full gate of girls?
Yeah, it's awesome to see that many girls out there. I think we get like 20 on the grid. So it's, yeah, I love racing the girls. It's good fun, and winning is even better.
So what racing have you got coming up?
So I got the Coffs Harbour race in a few weeks, and I'll be doing MX2 class again. And then a few weeks after that will be Coolum, the last round for the WMX.
What message would you give to young girls looking up to you that might be thinking about coming to race at Coolum?
Yeah, I'm sure all the girls have a dream to race big, and now women's motocross is really taking off. It's awesome. They have TV coverage now, so definitely come along. The more girls, it's awesome to see on the gate. So hopefully more girls get along, we can get more racing, and yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in, Charlie. I cannot wait to see how you go at Coffs Harbour.
Thanks, Kate, for having me.
Well, you heard it here. Coolum, the Easy Lift MXW class is on. Girls, grab your gear and come and race with Charlie Cannon. Coming up in our next episode is our very first Women's Circuit Racing Academy. Our aim is to get more women on the start line of the ASBK Championship. Let's take a look at the upcoming rounds of our championships. Round 5 and 6 of the Yamaha Australian Off-Road Championship presented by MX Store hits the sandy terrain of Menduran, 16th to the 17th of July in New South Wales. The Penrite Pro MX Championship presented by AMX Superstores arrives in Coffs Harbour for round 6 retro round, and we'll be throwing it back with handlebar moustaches and mullets ahoy. And round 5 of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul sees us in Morgan Park. Very familiar territory to many riders. The competition here will be fierce. Lots of racing on in the next couple of months. Check your favourite championships websites for all the details. Thanks for joining us on the AusMoto Show. I'm Kate Peck, and we'll see you next time.